Hey lovies, I hope you're having an amazing day. I wanted to do a live stream today really around life as a coach and what it's really been like on my journey. And I know a lot of folks that I've been speaking to recently in my Facebook group and just like people that I meet throughout all walks of life are interested in coaching and really consider it as something that they could do for their career and for their lives. And then they have a ton of questions like, what the heck is it like to actually be a coach? Like, what does that actually look like? What does that feel like? What could that be? Sorry, I'm going to just move this a little bit closer. Very far away. All right, cool. So, anyway, life as a coach. So, I just want to give you guys a sense of what it's really been like for me on my journey, what it looks like, what I'm getting out of it. Again, this is a one man's opinion, and there is a lot of, or there are a lot of different coaches out there and a lot of different lifestyles of a coach. So I want to preface that, and again, this is just kind of my journey and things that I've seen and explored along the way. So to really give you a sense of what it's like to be a coach for me and my personal journey, I want to just really quickly give you a sense of what I was doing and how I ended up coaching. So I, gosh, started my career in marketing. I wanted to be a journalist. I always loved writing, and then I did this summer publishing institute at NYU the year after I graduated, and really got a sense of the editorial side, the business side, sales and marketing. And I was like, you know what? I love the marketing people. So I ended up in marketing, and really just worked at InStyle magazine, Travel and Leisure. Ended up taking a job at an ad agency doing media planning and buying for Kraft Foods. Then was like, you know what? I kept feeling like I needed to be closer to like being the one that made decisions and figuring things out. And then I went to get my MBA because I really was like, oh, the people at the brand, those are the people that really make decisions. So I got my MBA, I interned at Coke, took a full-time position after I graduated at Intel doing digital marketing, which was really exciting for me. I realized I wanted to do something more tied to what's new, what's hot, what's happening. So back then it was digital marketing. So I took a senior marketing position at Intel to do digital marketing, and then ended up leaving to move back on the East Coast where I'm originally from, to be closer to fam, and took a job at a startup and was head of marketing at a startup, and really kept going like, oh, I'm closer to being someone that like makes decisions. And what I realized along the journey is that I kept wanting to like make decisions for a business, but I didn't realize that it was like, no, you want to actually just have your own business. You want to really just create something that you think would make a huge difference for people, that would make a value, or would add value to their lives, and you want to be the person kind of deciding how it goes and how it looks and how it feels and all that stuff. And so I set off on this journey to figure out what I wanted to do. I quit my startup job without a plan. I started consulting, doing marketing consulting on the side because I was like, I have all this marketing experience and I love marketing, so that's what I'll do. And I hired a business coach. And when I hired my business coach, I really realized, oh crap, that's a job? This is amazing. That's what I want to do. Like, I want to be you. And so I got rid of my consulting clients and I switched and I started coaching because I really realized that coaching was basically what I do. It's how I live my life. It's who I am to all of my friends. It's who I am to people I meet. It's who I want to be. It's really just somebody who is there helping people and supporting people in reaching their biggest dreams. And for me, like, business really excites me. Working with women entrepreneurs really excites me. So that's where I focus. And I was like, ooh, coaching. Okay, so what is this coaching business? What does this thing look like? And I honestly had no idea. I just knew that if I could spend time talking with people about their businesses and making a difference for how they did things and had them, bringing in more money, or really getting clear on what it is they wanted to do and finding their passions, that lit me up. Like that, I was like, yep, I want to do that. So that's how I ended up being a coach, and it really was a journey of me figuring out like what I wanted to do. And the greatest thing for me about it is that I was able to take on doing something that I could spend hours and hours doing. Like I have had clients on the weekends just because I was like, well, that's the time that ends up working, and I love you so, like, as a person in your business, so I'm like, why not? And I enjoy it, so it's not like work for me. It's like, oh, let's talk for 45 minutes on a Saturday morning and really just get clear on what's going on with your business, or things like that. So those were kind of the reasons I ended up coaching. Is it was the passion to run my own business, and the really like huge desire to support people in building their businesses and sharing with them what I know, and really like helping people when they're confronted with their own stuff, I'll say. So whether it's like not believing they're good enough, not believing they're worth their prices, not really seeing that things are possible, being able to manage their calendar and their schedule, like those are all things that I love talking to people about. I love talking to people about marketing and their marketing strategy and how to attract their clients. I love talking to people about mindset. I love talking to people about structures and systems. It's really like, ooh, I love all that stuff. And so I get to do that every day. Now, from a business standpoint, there are really two sides to a coach, and or a coaching business, and there are things that you will probably love about the business and things that you will not want to do. And so for me, coaching is really where I thrive. I thrive with coaching. The other area I really enjoy is just like public speaking and, sharing my own content. Those are probably my two favorite things about me having my own business, is creating content and coaching. Now, that being said, there are way more other things that are involved. There's managing your books, there's scheduling, there's the back end work of getting everything up and running. There's website design, if you need a website or a membership site. There's photo shoots. I love doing the photo shoots. But there's like strategy. There's all sorts of different things that really come with coaching. There's a lot depending on, for me, because I love content creation so much, and that's such a huge area for me in supporting my ideal clients. The other piece of it is that like I then need to, or like to, create a ton of content. So for me, that involves like, ooh, what am I going to do on Instagram? What am I going to do on Facebook? What am I going to do on YouTube? What am I going to do with my emails? What am I going to do on my blog? Like there's just so much content that I like to create and put out there. And so for me, that ends up being a lot too. Now, when I started, I really was like, ooh, kind of overwhelmed with what do I need to do? What do I need to start? So if you're a brand new coach, the best advice I have for you is that you don't need a crazy amount of stuff to have a coaching business. You don't need a crazy website. In fact, if you're just getting started, until you are crystal clear on who your ideal client is and what you're offering with them, you could probably get away with just like, I do a lead page and just have a page where people come, they maybe read a tiny bit about you, and they get a free, a freebie or a free something in exchange for their email address, and then you're growing your list. So I would just honestly do that. And then I'd spend your time just working your network. Talk to people that you know. Ask them who they know that really is in line with your ideal client. I started coaching people pro bono for a little bit, just to know that I'm like, all right, I think I want to do this and I'm pretty confident I'd be good at it, but let me test this out with someone in exchange for like a testimonial. So I did a couple of free sessions with folks. Different things like that, really just to get the ball rolling. And then the thing that I would say also that's really important for coaches is to just continuously grow your business, whether that is bringing on new one-on-one clients. For me, soon it'll be bringing on, group clients again, so doing group programs. So it's really constantly getting and staying connected to who your dream clients are, what they want, and being able to say, hey, I have this awesome offer for you. I know what you're dealing with. I know what your life is like. I've been there, and I have this offer for you. And that could be, I have this, small session package just so you can get a little taste and see what it's like to coach with me. I have this, actual coaching package. I have this group coaching program. Maybe it's a passive income product, or a self-study course. There are a couple of different things, or a lot of different ways people can eventually grow their coaching business. But when you're getting started, just, to get one-on-one clients, it's really just getting clear on who you can help, what you can do for them, and then asking people if they want to work with you. And I would really just keep it that simple when you're starting out. And it's something that I didn't realize until like 3 months in, that I was like, hey, what's not working? And it's like, oh, you haven't actually asked anybody to work with you and to coach with you. You've just been I mean, except for the pro bono clients, you've just been going around sharing great content, which is great, but I never actually made an offer. And so a lot of times people will go out there and say, you know, well, if I'm good and I'm out there, people will just ask. And it's like people may not, it may not occur to them, or they may just go, oh, she may be booked, or who knows what people are thinking. So you really just want to like go out there and ask as well. That's the other thing I would say with starting your own business is really just if you're a coach, being comfortable with sales conversations and not making sales seem like a dirty word. It's really just, to me, the way I look at sales and the way I invite my clients to look at sales is it's really just like, hey, I know what I can do for you. I know I'm good at it. Here's what I could do for you. Here's where you are, and really like getting into their world, present to where they are. Here's where you want to be based off of our conversation. I totally get where you want to be. Here are a couple things that I would suggest you do, and there's a ton more that will really get you from where you are to where you want to be. And I know how to do that. And so if you connect with me, if you would love support in that area, I'm inviting you to have a conversation with me about working with me, whatever your offer is, one-on-one group. Or it's like, or if you want to just sign up now, that's cool too. We can have the conversation right now. And then people will either say, oh my goodness, yes, I want to work with you. Or they'll say, oh my goodness, I would love to work with you, but you're like out of my price range. And then you can have a conversation with that, like that. Like, what would it be worth to you to have all the support and to really reach your dreams? Because a lot of times for people, what you're charging is well worth what they're going to get, and they may just be stuck by, like, you know, the price, like sticker shock. So it's really just having those conversations and being comfortable with them, and those would be the things that I'd say early on made a difference for me and what it's really like initially. Initially, it's just like, hey, I'm going to just go out there and I'm going to get it crystal clear on who I can help, why I'm great for them, start helping people, getting paid for it, and then just start growing your business that way. And then I know a lot of coaches get really excited and it's like, oh my goodness, I want to have, you know, one-on-one clients, and I want to do a group program, and I want to have self-study, and I totally get it. I was there. And what I would say is that it really depends on who you are and what you can handle and what your skill sets are. If you are like a marketing master, or you've already taught classes or things like that, it may be a no-brainer, easy, quick thing for you to do to go out there and create self-study courses. If you're struggling to get one-on-one clients, I'd say like pick something to focus on and give that all you've got, and then move on to the next thing. Some people are great at doing both at the same time, others not so much. So those are just some of the things that I would share in terms of like, what is it like being a coach, and also giving some advice, because I've been there. I've had probably many of the thoughts that you're having around what am I doing in terms of like, am I doing it right, and all those sorts of things. If I could share with you guys like the things that I love about coaching, for me, it's really just being able to do something that I love all the time and anytime. So I get to work from anywhere. I can travel and still do work if I want to, or if I need to, if I'm not on vacation. Like if I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation, but if I'm not on vacation and I just want to like go to Miami and see a friend, and they have to work, I'm like, all right, no worries, you work, I'll work, and then we'll hang out at night. But I get to be here, and we get to spend more time together than we would if I was back in like New York. So different things like that are fabulous for me. I get to set my own schedule. So when people are like, oh, I need to schedule a photo shoot, or when most people are like, oh, I need to get my hair done or a haircut or something, I don't need to go at rush hour. I could be like, you know what, I'll take that 11 a.m. appointment or the 10 a.m. appointment where nobody's going to be there because they're typically at work. So you can really have that sort of flexible schedule where you can do things that you want when you want to do it. The other thing I will say as a coach, for me, it's been extremely exciting, but it's also lonely. Not like, for me, I'm not typically like, oh, I'm alone, but I do realize how much time I spend by myself, which is a blessing and a curse. Too many thoughts. So what I typically do is I schedule regular calls. Every day I try to have a call with somebody else who's a coach, just to kind of talk and feel like we have that sort of I work somewhere environment. So there's that as well. So those are kind of like the big things I wanted to share for folks in terms of like, what is it like to be a coach? How did you get started? What are some of the things that you really deal with on a daily basis. If you'd like to get a sense of how I typically spend my day, I focus on growing my email list, nurturing my community, like going in there and sending emails, sending social media posts, connecting with my audience, doing Facebook Lives like this. I will focus on sales conversations and having conversations with folks. I'll focus on having free coaching or content strategy sessions that I'll do a few a month, so I'll do those. I'll either be like making sure that they're scheduled or having conversations with folks. And I'm constantly doing every day I do mindset work, I read, I'm constantly looking to grow and expand. And so I make sure that I'm getting those things done in a week. I'll also have, obviously, coaching calls. So I'll have coaching calls in a bunch. I try not to do more than I think I do no more than 6 a day. So I do coaching calls. I'll meet with my team. A lot of the stuff that I listed at this point is kind of like me approving before it goes out and adding my stamp on it or making adjustments, as opposed to creating everything from scratch on my own. But I definitely started that way. And so I'll just connect with my team, make sure everybody kind of knows what's going on. We're all on the same page. We're working together towards the same goal. And that's really it. That's like a day in the life of me as a coach. I got my hair done today, at 11. You can just kind of do whatever. Just create a schedule that works for you. Like Tuesday, I'm going, spending the whole day doing a photo shoot. So it's it changes constantly, but at the end of the day, I just try to make sure I'm always growing my list, connecting with people, offering folks to work with me, and really just constantly doing things like that. Oh, Claude, you totally missed my example. I said I was gonna, the greatest thing about being a coach is that you can, decide that you want to go to Miami and spend time with a friend and still get work done while they're working. So I was thinking of you, love. So those are just kind of the things for me in terms of being a coach and what that's like. So I think you guys are fabulous. If you have any questions specifically about what it's like to be a coach, what are the things that I deal with, what are the things that I love, what are the things that aren't so fun, typically what I advise is, for me, is really quickly realize that you can't and shouldn't have to do everything. And you're not a genius in everything. And that's not to be mean, but me, there are things which are my zone of genius, things that I'm naturally good at. Those things typically tend to be around the things that I love doing. So coaching, I love doing marketing, strategy especially, and I love public speaking and talking to folks. So those are things that I love doing. So I try to make sure that those are the things I'm doing. Now, I don't necessarily need to do the back end stuff, schedule all the posts, and I'll come up with the strategy and what I want to talk about, but I don't have to actually make everything up and running and live and present. I have teams for that. I do not love doing the finance work. It's funny, I will totally do it for somebody else, but for some reason when it's my own business, I'm like, no, thank you. So, hiring people to do that. I have, folks that really just focus on the areas that I don't typically love. So what I did early on, and what I really recommend people do, is make a list of all the things that you really need to have done for your business. And again, it's very much in line with the growing your email list, growing your tribe, your Facebook group, growing your different social media platforms, really nurturing and continuously engaging with the folks that are a part of your tribe, that are following you across your email and all those other platforms. Getting people on the phone to have sales conversations with them, getting people on the phone to honestly just give them free advice, and give them a taste of what it's like to work with you, and really just practicing your mindset work. Those are things that I regularly do. And then there are other things that I'm just nope, don't want to do that. Somebody else can do it. Somebody else can manage it. And my advice is make a list of all the things that have to get done, and hire people when you can to take on everything else. And for me, virtual assistants are the greatest people in the world. And you really just, again, it's like any relationship, you just got to see if you work well together, if you jive well together, if it makes sense. And then you just say, hey, here's where you could really support me this week. And then it's just, things are happening while you are focusing on your clients and on anything else that you love doing. So that is what I have for you today. Again, if you have questions, definitely post them in the Facebook group. I think you're all magical. I actually have to run to a coaching call now, so I've got to go. But I love you lots, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.